So if you're a creator in 2026, the name Kling is, well, it's pretty much everywhere, right? It's basically become the engine for AI video. But what's really wild is how it went from a relative nobody to the undisputed king of the hill in just a couple of years. So how on earth did Kling solve the one massive problem that giants like OpenAI completely missed? And in doing so, how did it literally change everything? Let's break it down. Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to start with what we're calling the silent film problem, the one thing that held all of AI video back. Then we'll look at the big contender, Sora, and see how Kling challenged it head-on in a spec showdown. After that, we'll get into the native audio breakthrough. This is the juicy part, and see how it completely changed the game for creators. And finally, we'll see exactly how Kling set a brand new standard for the entire industry. All right, so let's start at the beginning. The biggest issue holding back all of the early AI video models, it wasn't really about the visuals or how long the clips were. It was this incredibly frustrating bottleneck for creators, a problem that a lot of people started calling the silent film problem. And that really makes you wonder, right? For anyone actually trying to make stuff, was the whole promise of AI video just more trouble than it was worth? You'd spend all this time prompting and generating and tweaking, and at the end of the day, you were still only halfway there. And yeah, this pretty much sums it all up, doesn't it? You'd get these beautiful but totally silent video clips. That meant you had to jump into a whole separate, complicated workflow with other audio tools just to make it usable. Add to that the weird visual glitches, the really high costs, and these exclusive waitlists. You can see why it was such a struggle for people to really get on board. And who was at the very center of this exclusive, kind of frustrating world? Yep, OpenAI's Sora. It was the big cinematic contender everyone was buzzing about, but almost nobody could actually use it. Look, let's be real, Sora's demos were absolutely mind-blowing. They were promising physics and photorealism that felt like something out of a movie. But for the average person, the average creator, it was a walled garden. It was expensive, it was invite-only, and most importantly, it was still missing that one critical feature to solve the silent film problem. Okay, so that sets the stage for Kling. This is where they come in, not with a bunch of hype, but with cold, hard data and features that directly attack the market's biggest headaches. So you look at this table, right? Resolution is the same, 1080p at 30 frames per second. Okay, fine. But everywhere else, man, it's a completely different story. Kling gave you double the video length. It gave you full public access with a free tier, and it had the absolute game changer, native audio and lip sync. On the things that actually matter for a real workflow, Sora just wasn't even in the same league. And just look at this, the video length. I mean, a 60-second clip is great, don't get me wrong, but doubling that to 120 seconds? That's not just a small upgrade. That is a huge deal for actual storytelling, for explainers, for ads, all created in one shot. It was a massive practical advantage. What's really wild is how fast this all happened. I mean, think about it. In 2023, we were getting these janky 3-second clips with weird artifacts. Then, bam, early 2024, Sora gets announced, and Kling launches version 1 almost immediately. They just kept pushing, making it faster in 2025, and then in 2026, they dropped the final piece of the puzzle, native audio. And that brings us to the main event, the native audio breakthrough. This was the feature that officially killed the silent film era of AI video. This was the move from just making clips to creating true multimedia. Okay, let's just be super clear about what this actually means. Native audio-visual generation sounds fancy, but it's simple. It's not just pasting an audio file on top of a video. It means the AI model is creating the sound and the picture at the exact same time, making sure every single word, every sound effect is perfectly synced up from frame 1. No more tedious manual syncing. It just works. And how did people react? Well, the numbers tell the story. A 340% jump in people searching for Kling AI lip sync tutorial? That's insane. It shows you just how desperate people were for this. This wasn't some cool, nice-to-have feature. It was the solution to the entire community's biggest problem. So what did this actually do for people? For creators? It basically just blew up the old workflow. It took a process that involved multiple pieces of software and hours of work and collapsed it into a single, elegant tool. The new way of doing things is, well, it's just so much smarter. You start with a static image. You use their motion brush to literally paint where you want the movement to be. You upload your audio, tell it to lip sync, and you hit go. That's it. A process that used to take hours and multiple programs now takes minutes, all in one place. And this quote from Elowen Gray, a lead AI systems engineer, just nails it. While Sora was off chasing this idea of perfect cinematic photorealism, Kling was busy solving the actual problem creators were facing every single day. They fixed the workflow. That was the key. So, all of this, it all leads to one simple conclusion. Kling became the new industry standard. And the reason why is simple. Practicality just flat out beat prestige. And it wasn't just about the cool tech, right? It was about accessibility. It's really simple math. An invite-only tool that costs at least $20 a month just cannot compete with a powerful alternative that gives you a bunch of free credits every day and has plans that start at less than $4. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? Look at the creator ecosystem in 2026. The community had clearly voted 60 million users. That's not just a user base, that's a movement. And you know what 60 million users do? They create a lot. We're talking 600 million videos generated by April 2026. That isn't just a big number, it represents a complete change in how we make stuff. It's a tidal wave of creativity, and it's all powered by this one accessible platform. So, Kling solves the silent film problem. That era is officially over. But that's not the end of the story, is it? It's really just the beginning. Now that AI video can finally talk, the real question is, what are we going to make it say?